The Congressional Black Caucus. A big good morning to you, Congresswoman.
Good morning. Thank you. Glad to be with both of you.
Great to have you.
We are so happy to have you. I want to talk to you about the president's executive order coming in overnight. It would direct the head of every federal agency to look at ways to promote voter registration and voting access, including look on your websites. Can you make it easier to register there? Should you be mailing out voter registration? But we also have the House, which passed H.R. 1, which is the voting rights bill. How much further does H.R. 1 go? And do you think you can garner any bipartisan support?
Well, we want to thank the president for that executive order that he just issued. I think it is a good marriage between H.R. 1 that we just passed. It has a lot of good things in it that helps us modernize and advance voting rights and how redistricting lines are drawn. So I think it's a match. I think as we move forward with it, whether it's in a bipartisan way or not, it's the best thing for us to do to make sure that people have access to the ballots, that we're not dealing with voter suppression. And isn't it a great thing that we're doing it on the anniversary of 56 years ago when we were fighting for voting rights, and here we are again today fighting for it. So I am hopeful that we will get some of our colleagues on the other side to join us. If they don't, it tells you what they think about the American people and our voting rights.
But what does this tell us about H.R. 1? Because you look at it, and a lot of people, including yourself, giving the president praise for passing this, or for this executive action that he took just within the last hours or so. But isn't it an admission of defeat that H.R. 1 doesn't stand a shot in the Senate?
Well, I don't think it's a mission of defeat. I think what we're doing as Democrats is listening to the people and giving people equal access and equal rights to vote. I think what it does is a defeat of the Republicans who are still trying to suppress people's rights to vote. I think the president is just extending it to make sure that we get a complete package. And that's what real leaders do. And I think it's the first step in the right direction that he looked at our bill, and he's using his executive order's rights to expand and make sure today that people know that their elected officials are listening to them and making sure they can vote.
Congresswoman, let's talk about the COVID relief bill, the other major news happening right now out of the Capitol this weekend. We know that communities of color have been disproportionately affected by the coronavirus. They're now being vaccinated at lower rates in all 50 states. Is there anything specifically in the relief bill to help people of color?
Well, I think it helps, one, by doing just that, giving relief. We also know that people of color have more disparities and are affected disproportionately as we look at everything from income to housing to health care. So making sure that there are dollars in there for individuals, single families, and for married couples is very helpful. When you look at what's happening with the tax break, with student loans, with dollars for housing, making sure that people are not being evicted, what we're doing to student loans. So I think that affects people of color, especially Black Americans. When you look at over 41% of small businesses, Black-owned businesses are closing. When you look at how disproportionately we've received the vaccination. So putting those dollars in there, I think, is a first step of us at least getting relief. Whether we got everything we wanted or not, it is a first step. And we also will accept the bill because some of the relief packages have been extended beyond August to September when we look at the additional dollars for unemployment.
All right, Congresswoman. Oh, by the way, I was looking at your Twitter and noticed you've been giving shout-outs to women who made history throughout the month, including Beyonce, Serena Williams. Who's today's?
Yes, that's going to be a surprise. It's not quite over yet. We have a debate at 8 o'clock every morning about who I'm going to release, and it keeps people paying attention. So thank you for notice.
It's been very interesting to watch. Yesterday was Madeleine Albright, who became the first female Secretary of State. Congresswoman.
And let me just say, this is not a light thing. We need to make sure that our children, especially our young girls, know that they are not limited to what they can do. And we're getting a lot of educators and just individuals across the United States to pay attention to it and share it with their young girls. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, thank you.
Thank you.
The death of George Floyd at the hands of police officers captured the world's attention last year.